Hi, I'm Lizzie Edwards and welcome back to my channel. If you like what you see, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I love to get your comments, so please do comment below. So in today's video, I am giving you a walkthrough of the software Moonsift, which I've been recommending to lots of people recently. It's a relatively new software. It only came around in 2020 and it's really been targeted at stylists, so you might not have heard of it unless you're in the industry. Now, the reason I really recommend people to use it is that there's no noise. It's not like Pinterest where you're distracted by a million other people's ideas of what is stylish and fashionable, as well as food and holidays and makeup and everything. This is just about the things that you put together in a board. So in this walkthrough, I'm just going to give you an overview of what it looks like behind the scenes and how to set it up. And obviously, this is a very new software and it changes all the time. So this video is being made in March 2021. And by the time you get to look inside, it might be different again because they're always updating and changing. So do keep your eye on it. I'd love to know how you get on with it. So please do remember to drop me a comment and don't forget to subscribe to get my video again next week. Thanks a lot, and I hope you enjoy it and find it useful. Okay, so let's do this. I'm going to show you around Moonsift and give you a better idea about what I'm talking about. So this is what you will see when you go to moonsift.com. This is the landing page. And the first thing you're going to need to do is go and click on this button, Get Moonsift. It's free, or here. And you can log in with your email or with Google Chrome and Facebook. Now, I've already got a login, so I'm just going to jump straight in. Log in. Now, this is the login that I use for my Elevate members. I think I've said before that I use this to deliver 2 boards a month to the members, which they vote on. I have a different account when I'm doing boards for my clients, but this gives you an idea of what it can look like when you've been building it up over time. So just, you can see here, this is why I prefer it to Pinterest. It's really clean. It's just what I've put in here. There's nothing in here that I have not put in here. So that's a winner for me. Now, before you start at all, this is going to be very blank. You can fill it in with all your details and all of that stuff. And then you're going to go to these 3 lines in the corner. And you need to do this, add Moonsift to Chrome. 3rd thing down. Add Moonsift to Chrome. That is super, super important. You have to use Chrome. You have to be on a desktop. This isn't an app on your iPhone. This isn't something you can do scrolling on your phone. This is something that you have to be on a desktop for. This is a new software, only started in 2020. And so the other thing I'll quickly add is that it changes literally weekly. I'm in communication with them a lot and I say, hey, is it possible to do this? Or maybe could we try that? And it's done in a couple of weeks sometimes, and the other things I know that they're working on. So, you know, this video is out there. It could be, you know, even a month's time, 2 months' time, 6 months' time, a year's time, it could look very different. But a lot of the core things that I'm going to show you should be the same. It just means that there's probably going to be more things. So yeah, once you've added this to Chrome, I'm going to click on this to show you what comes up. If you've never done this before, you basically need to, where this says remove from Chrome, this will say add to Chrome. You click that button, and what that does is that takes you, and you'll see here, this little button here where you've got the Pinterest one and this one, that is what is here. It's a Chrome extension, and that's basically what is running this for you. And I'll come back to that later when I show you how to add things manually. So you're in here, you've got these boards. Now, these are all boards that I've selected. So what I would suggest you do, and the reason, again, I'm going to tell you why I think Moonsift is so brilliant, it's because I want you to consciously shop and to prepare for shopping and not just buy things randomly. And that means that when you've got your list of things that you want to buy, you can make considered choices and you're not wasting money on things that you don't wear. So what you need to do is you've got your list of things you need, and then you can either create a load of boards, like you could create a board. When I say board, collection, they call them collections. You click on here, create a collection. You could say blazers. You could say shoes. You could say, narrow it right down, red shoes. You could say green jackets, you know, whatever you want. You could keep it quite broad, and then you can spread them out after. I'll show you how to do that. And then what you've got here, when you start a new board, you'll get this screen. and this is all the retailers. So you can click on here, full list of retailers. The other way that you find the retailers is you go back to this corner where the 3 lines are, and you click on there, and second down, you've got this list of retailers. So full list of retailers, you'll see there are loads and loads and loads. Luckily, they're in alphabetical order. The other thing you can do is if you know what you want, you can just search it. Now, if you've got a brand that you want to shop or a website and it isn't in here, what you can do is when you've gone to that website manually, so you'll just type it in the URL. If it doesn't show up, that's where you go to this bookmarklet here. You click on this and you can see here, oh, it won't, I'll show you later. You can add product manually, but anyway, I'll show you that later because it's not showing up. So I'm going to do blazers. So as an example, I've just seen All Saints there. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to click on All Saints, and you'll see that when you go into the store, I do women's wear. So I'm going to click on women's wear, and then I'm going to click on what I want is jackets, because I'm doing jackets, women. Is there any blazers? Coats and jackets. So let's just see if there's any blazers. There's probably not a blazer. No, my luck. Now I'm in. Anyway, I'm going to waste time doing that. So I'm going to pretend this is a blazer. Just of all the places. Okay, let's call this a blazer. We're going to call this a blazer. It's an Ashley tassel jacket. Can you see in the top right-hand corner, you've got this little Moonsift sign. On the left, you've got Pinterest. And on the right, you've got this Moonsift sign. Now, as you've just started that board, it's going to have it as blazers. So you can click on there and it will save it onto your blazers board. Now, if while you're shopping, you happen to see something and you think, oh, actually, I really fancied actually, there is a blazer there. Look, so I'm going to just do this as well to add that to the blazer. So you can see, you can go along here. You can think, oh, what else? You can add, oh, here now we're into the blazers. Look, save blazers. I love that one. I'm going to pretend I love them all just to make it super fast. But you could go, actually, I'm going to start another one because I've suddenly decided that I want a leather jacket. So I'm going to go into here. I'm going to click on save. But I'm going to click on this arrow down and I'm going to add a new collection. And I'm going to put on leather jackets. I'm going to create it. And then what you can see here is actually it's not in blazers. I don't need it to be in blazers. So I'm going to remove it from blazers and I'm going to keep it in leather jackets. And then you close that. And actually I'm going to add that to, you might have to do the drop down. I'm going to add that to leather jackets. And you'll see that you've got choices because once this is a leather jacket. So we're going to click on there and it's now automatically saying leather jackets. Oh, look, this is the leather jacket too, leather jacket. Okay, so you get the picture, right? So then you can go, right, I'm going to close that down now. I've had enough of All Saints and I'm going to go to ASOS. And I'm going to look for more leather jackets. Leather jacket. And you'll see in ASOS, all these leather jackets. Here's a leather jacket. I'm going to click that on there. Leather jacket. Okay, so you get the picture. That's how it works. Now, if you want to then go back to your boards, I'm going to pull out of here and go to My Collections, and you'll see at the top here, you've got your blazers and your jackets. And you'll see that if you click into your blazers, you've got a few there in a line. So I also then want to show you what you can do with that. So in blazers, you click on this organize button. You can then add sections. So you could have a section that was white blazers, depending how many blazers you're going to find. And you could have a section that says grey blazers. Interesting spelling. And then, so you then need to go with your images. You go to this is the grey blazer. You click on the button at the bottom, click it, and you add it to the grey blazer section. I'm going to call this a grey blazer. I'm going to call this a white one because it is white, and I'm going to call this one a grey one. Okay. So you'll see. Oh, that's not right, is it? I've just done that wrong. So let's put this one back in the white one. So you'll see that it starts separating them out. And then as you go to all the different brands, your board will be nice and organised. What you can also do when you're in the organised section is that you can see that you can then reshuffle the order by using either this arrow, which takes it all the way to the end, or you can use one of these that moves it along one place, and you just reorder them like that. So it's very simple. And what you'll also notice is you've got this hanger, which you can click if you own it. So once over time, you start building it up, you can actually click it and it will put it into something that you've collected, and it will be added to this purchased collection. So you'll have a collection of purchased items. I'm not going to press that because they're going to move me out of my window. So that's great. And then what you can do, you have to remember to save the changes. So I'm going to come back out into my collection, and I'm just going to go into leather jackets, and we can do the same. So you can actually say, right, I'm going to just organize it. I'm going to show you one more time. I'm going to add a section. I'm going to name it black jackets. And then I can add this to black jackets, this to black jackets, and this one to black jackets, and I'll leave the rest as they are. And so you can just see how it gets organized. And don't forget to save the changes. So that's how you use that. Now, if you go on a website that doesn't have a retailer, and I can't think of one because every single one I can think of has, but I'll show you by going through. If you go to the retailers, if you go into a brand, what happens is when you go into your store that isn't part of here that you want to be, you can do two things. You can either click this little Moonsift logo. You can either, where it says disable on aloyoga.com, it would say add to. So it gives you the option to request and add. So that's something that's why there's so many brands on here, because obviously loads of stylists over time have added brands to it. But what you can do is add your own in, and they take, sometimes depending on how busy they are, it can take anything from a few days to a week or so. But the other thing you can do is you can add a product manually. So if you're not going to go there again, if it's a shop you go to loads, then it's worth doing. If it's just something you happen to have seen, you can add a product manually. And what it does is it brings up this screen, and you can select the images you want. You can select where you want it to go. I'll put it on leather jackets. And you can also add the price. So you can sort of put in, $5.99 or whatever, and add product. And what you'll see when you go into collections is that in the leather jackets section is this one that I put in. And again, I forgot to say before that when you have the image in, you get the choice of the different ones that it shows up. So you get the choice. This is also what's great about it compared to Pinterest, is that if the brand itself, you don't need to do that. It just does it for you. Some of the brands like Zara and Mango, they have so many images of one item that it's really good that you can actually see all of them together. So that's what I love to do here. And then the other thing I just wanted to show you was that if you can then go into a board, you can then move items onto other boards. So for example, this one here, I'm going to click on here. I'm going to click on this top right-hand corner here, and I can add this to the Blazers one. So I can move this. And I can leave it on the stories board, but I can move it to the Blazers board as well. So you can go through other boards you've had before and click on and just add that to the Blazers. So you've got them in multiple boards. You can see these are just different things from time. So it doesn't mean that once you've selected something, if you've maybe some brands, obviously, and the stuff that I really recommend you get isn't necessarily seasonal and suddenly gone. But what you might do is you might have a board that you're shopping one season, and you might start a completely fresh board the next season. But actually, a lot of the items still exist in the store, and you can almost move them from the old board onto the new board. And then what you end up with is going back to the collections. You've got Blazers and you've got different brands. And again, you can go in and you can decide that when you click on Organize, you might say, oh, that's a grey one, so I'm going to add that to the grey Blazers, and then you move it around. So that's how you do that. So I hope, going back to my, what haven't I done? I haven't saved it. At least it reminds you to save. So save the changes, and then you can go back to my collections. So this is, as I say, this is how nice and clean it looks. And this is why I really recommend that you can save all of the items when you're planning and you're prepping your shop. It's really worth keeping everything in one place from all the different brands. And I really, really recommend that you do that and you don't just shop kind of spontaneously. And it's just a nice place to just hold everything without all of that noise of other people trying to sell you stuff that you don't need. Now, I have to say as well, is I've explained as well that Moonsift is really new and that there's new things coming. There's other things coming along where you can put collages together, so you could take a top from one board and put it with trousers from another and do a flat lay. They've got lots of things coming, and also you can also obviously when you click on the item you're able to like it, you're able to leave a comment. You can do all sorts of things like that, which is really useful when you're trying to remember or share with a friend and you want to sort of show them what you've got there, or share with a stylist or however. So this is how I use Moonsift. As I say, I hope that it hasn't changed too much by the time you watch this video, and I hope you find that useful. I would love to know how you get on. So do let me know in the comments.